What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers signed Arthur Kaluma to a 10-day Exhibit 10, basically training camp invite, right? He's going to be able to go and compete, likely for the final two-way spot. If I'm being honest, I think more likely than not, it probably goes to Eric Dixon, just because I think he is the most NBA ready. I think he is the most impactful guy. I think he's a guy that, could even potentially slot in the rotation now. Problem is, we didn't really get to see him in Summer League and how much better he was, but just based on how much better he was than everybody in college, right, to think that he won't be able to come in, especially with his shooting ability and his offensive versatility, I think he could play some role for the Lakers. I did a whole video on Eric Dixon, so if you want more in-depth analysis on that, go check that out after this one, of course. But Arthur Kaluma is my favorite option for the Lakers, and I think is most likely. We got two guards too, and I'll break those down in later videos. But I think that they're probably not going to make the roster or two-way. I think if anything, they'll probably be on the G League roster. Just think the Lakers with Bronny and whatnot, and also, they just need more size. Arthur Kaluma is another guy that I think could have an impact in spot minutes as like an assignment guy. I don't know if he's ready for like real rotation minutes, real kind of like, hey, you're going to play 15 minutes a night off the bench. That I don't know about, where Eric Dixon might be ready. He's somebody that might be able to, but I could see Arthur Kaluma in spot minutes as like an assignment guy, right? He's huge. Talking about a guy that's 6'8", he's 225, 230. He's got that 7'1" wingspan. He is like, you look at a dude Thero, you got another guy in Arthur Kaluma, who is one of the more kind of ready-made defensive wings in the draft. He's just older, right? So, you see guys in the draft, they don't, anything over like 19 starts to slide a little bit, right? Outside of like rare occasions. He's 23 years old. He just turned 23, by the way, but he's looked at as older for, the NBA draft. I mean, look at Dalton Connect. He was as high as like 4th or 5th on many big boards and draft projections, and he ended up falling all the way to 17th. So to think a guy, 23 who, yes, could potentially be a 3-and-D guy, he needs some growth and development. He's a guy, and he looks huge. Watching him in Summer League, he looks big, right? And he's a guy that I could see kind of being that OG type. Big, strong, physical, athletic, versatile, long, can slot in at either forward spot, defend the best player on the other team. And we saw him. We saw him defend, literally switching out on guard, staying in front of them, using his size, his length to kind of swarm them, and then switching on even centers, right? They set the pick, and then they'd roll, and he would follow them and go with them. Right? He's a guy that showed the three-point shooting and that capability. The problem is we didn't get a ton of opportunity for Kaluma, right? Which is what's kind of disappointing. And I think part of that was probably because the Lakers wanted to get a look at other guys. Right? Arthur Kaluma is the exact type of player that the Lakers are looking for and trying to bring in. That's why they went and traded up to go get Thero and all of that. They want to bring in these big, sizable, versatile wings, which is kind of what I ideally think is best. Right? Could you imagine, assuming Arthur Kaluma can actually develop a not even elite three-point shot. Let's say he's 36-37% from three-point range. Same thing with an Adu Thero, right? Imagine pairing those two alongside Luka Doncic and DeAndre Ayton, right? And then maybe getting a point of attack or Bronny James and his athleticism and his defensive capability, especially if he can knock down a three-point shot, say 38%. Imagine that team. Imagine the how athletic, versatile you would be having, three just hyper athletic, 2, 6'8", 7-foot long wingspanned players. You have your athletic, versatile center that can do multiple things, and then Bronny James is your point of attack guard alongside Luka. I mean, that's a team that can win multiple championships. You just need like the proper depth and all that stuff, health, all of those things, right? So Arthur Kaluma is a guy that I could see kind of being a part of that vision. So maybe the Lakers didn't play him as much because they kind of see that too and are like, we know what we're getting with him. We know he's going to develop. The defense, play him in spot minutes, just kind of get a look and see if he's what we think he is. Okay, yeah, he just showed that he is. We don't need to play him too heavily. Right? That's kind of how I look at it, or at least that's my hope. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not talking to Rob in the front office and stuff, but I look at Kaluma as a guy that could really come in, slot in, and just have an impact on this roster in a positive manner. I think he's a guy that could potentially, like I said, I think he's going to be I think he's going to be a development guy. I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to come in and be our starter or primary backup or anything like that. But I do think he's a guy that could, in a pinch, guy gets a night off or something like that, you could throw him out there and just have that be that defensive assignment guy. Right? Don't play outside your boundaries. Stay within this frame. Be defensive, be a menace, be versatile. His rebounding, his versatility, all of that. He's a great rebounder. He's got good size, good length. Shot the three ball decent, right? He was 36% from three-point range, last year with Texas. So not great, not elite, but, if that can translate to the NBA level, even just that same percentage, 36%, which was around league average, if he could just be that, with his size, his versatility, his defense, all of those things, he's a guy that I really do think could be a long-term answer for the Lakers. And I mean, you just look at his stats with Texas, talking about a guy that was 12.5 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block per game. Right? And that's unbelievable. Right? For his career, and again, we're going off of college stats, just want to make that clear, but for his career, he's a 6.5 rebound a game guy. So this is a guy that can, again, slot in at either forward spot. You could slot in at the 3, you could slot in at the 4, gives you good size, good strength. Like I said, you could put, because Athero is just more athletic. He's just a hyper athlete. I mean, 41 inch first. I mean, the guy's ridiculous. Right? He's the guy that I would put at the 3 because he has the athleticism and quickness to stay in front of like quicker guards, twitchier wings and stuff where, again, Kaluma is athletic. I don't want to undersell his athleticism either, but he's a guy that I think would be better suited at the power forward spot. Plus, if he's like 35% from three-point range, it's easier to kind of offset that him playing the 4 than him playing the 3 when he's on the strong side of the action, right? So I think, I look at a dude, Thero and Kaluma as like your 2 potential wings that you could have out on the perimeter that are just your dirty work guys, doing all the hustle, hitting the open shots, right? But also rebounding, defending, switching 1 through 5, right? You're going to try to set some, a pick or some action to get Thero off of you just to run into right, Arthur Kaluma. It sounds pretty good to me. So he's the guy that I want the most. And even if he doesn't even if they do go with Eric Dixon, personally, I think they need to do whatever. Like, they need to convince, like, hey, as soon as we can, pull off a trade or whatever, open up a raw spot, do whatever, we got you. Like, stick around. Don't go nowhere. Do you want to be a Laker? Yes? Okay, then stick around. We're going to get you on the main round. We're going to get you on the main thing. Because my fear is, I just think that he's a guy that I could, like, if he gets out of the Lakers umbrella, teams are going to snatch him up. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. If you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.